Am I the asshole for asking my sister to leave my engsgement party or not steal all the attention? I just got engaged to the love of my life, Ben 30M. We want to throw an engagement party and let our families get to know each other better. My sister Avery 31F, who has been the favorite among all family members our whole lives, came back home the week before the engagement party. She's been traveling all over the world, Southeast Asia, Africa, Middle East as a physician, and now opted for a change in her life. She has always had the spotlight. Even in my high school graduation she wasn't even there. Everyone mentioned how amazing she was because we went to the same school and how I had filled in her footsteps. Wherever she goes, she just makes everyone else disappear. Before the party, I told her how this party was important for both Ben and I. I also asked her to, for once, let the day be about me. She agreed. During the party, everyone from my side of the family just briefly saw us and went to Avery to ask her about her adventures in Uganda or Yemen. In just half an hour, she had the whole family around her. I called her out and said she needed to try and not take the spotlight once more. She said I was being ridiculous and it was not her fault, she had a life that people wanted to know about. I told her she could either go back inside and keep a low profile for the rest of the night or leave the party and talk about herself as much as she pleased. She called me apathetic and jealous and left. My parents are mad at me and are saying I should have understood the situation and made a better judgment. AITA. I feel mixed on this one. For one, it's not Avery's fault that people are curious about her life, but on the other hand, you addressed this with her. You asked her to let your engagement party be about you and she agreed. If she can manage becoming a physician, she should also be able to manage diverting attention away from herself. She ignored your request. She's the AH. While your parents may certainly be proud of her, they should be proud of both their daughters and understand this, they are also the ass here. This does not bode well for your wedding. Not the asshole. You're the asshole. I get it, it sucks to be in someone else's shadow, but your sister hasn't done anything wrong here. There is definitely a strong sense of jealousy here. Engagement parties are fun, but they weren't going to spend the entire duration talking only about you. Of course they are naturally curious about what your sister had been up to. You're the asshole. Your sister isn't the problem here, the people who you feel were ignoring you are the actual issue. I hate to say it, but the reality is that hearing a person talk about their experiences in Yemen and Uganda would be a lot more interesting to most people than a wedding. If you wanted your sister to make herself small and silent, you shouldn't have invited her. You're the asshole. Having a super accomplished golden child older sibling is tough, but what precisely is she meant to do? It's an engagement party, which means it's a party. Outside of toasts or something similar, it's going to be regular conversation. People aren't going to make sure they only talk about the betrothed because it's an engagement party. It's clear your sister is a source of deep insecurity for you, and that's a hard thing to deal with, and perhaps your family helped create this, but in this instance you're the asshole because you basically made a scene because people were interested in your sister's life. If OP wanted the focus of her party to be the two families getting to know one another, that was on her and her fiancé. The engaged couple should have mingled from table to table and throughout the crowd, introducing both sides of the family. OP could have gently interrupted those around her sister with a polite "Excuse me, Aunt Jane, I'd love for you to step over here and meet Ben's parents." The hosts had the duty to put in effort to keep the party on track best they can. You're the asshole. While I understand your frustration, I can't see her making a mistake. People have not seen her for years, and TBH, you want to entertain your guests some hours talking about engagement. Info out of curiosity. OP, what exactly were you expecting your family to do at this party in regards to paying you attention? People can only say congratulations on your engagement so much, and I'm guessing they already know you and Ben pretty well, so they can't ask questions like how did you guys meet or other relationship questions. After the initial congrats, Did you expect everyone to sit there in silence and only speak if it was about you to you? You're the asshole. Please don't make the rest of your wedding planning about how much attention you get as well. Parties are for people to see each other and talk to each and enjoy each other's company. It was unrealistic to think people would only talk to you and only about your engagement all night. You need to get to the root of your issues with your sister and work through them. This is entirely a you problem. Simply put, yes. Work on your insecurities. AITA. You are jealous and pathetic, TBA. You did yourself a disservice. You should have let your future in-laws make up their own mind on your sister. They might have felt she was attention-seeking, but what they now have seen is your flaws and how you treat family. They are probably thinking so, and so's Fiank is a bit of a brat, but her sister was so nice. Get over your jealousy. It's an extremely bad trait to have. Be happy for your sister. If you are that jealous, here's a thought: go do some of those things and have your own stories. You're the asshole. You're insecure and jealous of your sister simply existing. She didn't summons people over to her. She didn't do anything to steal attention. She was there for your party and other people were interested in her. So that's her fault? Seriously? You're the asshole, sympathetic all the way here. But Avery is right. It isn't her fault. She is doing things find exciting and different. What I don't truly understand is, say 100 people came to your engagement party, are they all to stand around and wait on you the whole time? They are going to talk to other people, sister included, and then as you are passing by grab you and say hello. There does seem to be a lot of resentment and jealousy here. This is either from within or very likely driven by family. You're the asshole. She wasn't dancing on tables, falling around drunk or seeking attention. All she did was exist and make chit-chat with her family. What was she supposed to do? Hide in a cupboard, or refuse to speak to people? This is about you and your relationship with your family. That is something you need to address with them, not your sister. The engaged couple could have taken some bit of control over party chit-chat by mingling to introduce both sides of the family. Engaged couple could politely interrupt to say, "Sister, please excuse us, I want cousin Jane to meet Ben's parents." You're the asshole. She moved last week, family haven't seen her in a while, so it was natural that they were talking to her. She didn't cause it and you let your childhood resentment of her ruin your evening. It was not her making the evening difficult, it was you with your baggage. Engagement party is not supposed to be an event where everyone stares at the couple and only talks about them. You're the asshole. What's she supposed to do? Sit in the corner in sackcloth covered in ashes and just not speak to anyone? She wasn't deliberately calling attention to herself, she was just existing. You're the asshole. I know it hurts, but this really isn't her fault. She's right, she can't tell everyone to fuck off and stop talking to her. Your family are the ones you should be mad at, for thinking this behavior is okay when it's your engagement party. It sucks to be in someone's shadow, but she hasn't made you feel that way. Other people have, and they are who you should be mad at. You're the asshole. People approached her. She didn't make some big speech on stage to steal the show. Did you expect her to tell people, "Sorry, can't talk about that, can only talk about OP today"? That's not realistic. You sound very jealous, and probably need to work on that. You're the asshole. As someone who also travels a lot, I'm used to people having a genuine interest in what I'm up to. What is she meant to do? Tell them to go away and ask you about your wedding instead? Engagements are generally only interesting to the couple for anything longer than 5 minutes. You're the asshole. You have some major jealousy issues. It sounds like your sister is just living her life and that impacts you. Is it really her fault or everyone else's, including your own? Now, if she gathered everyone around by pulling a rabbit out of a hat, you'd have a good reason to be